Can you give us a quick overview and description of what the survey is and why it matters?
The Mortgage Consumer Survey gives the industry professionals a good understanding of what the needs and the expectations are that Canadians have when they're buying a home.
And are we seeing signs of improvement in financial stress compared to last year?
The survey does show some clear easing away from that financial stress amongst recent mortgage consumers.
How long does the survey say it takes for Canadians to save up for their down payment?
In the survey, homebuyers told us it took on average 4.4 years to save up for their down payment.
You're listening to In-House, Canada's housing podcast, where we share the latest on Canada's housing market. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to In-House. I'm your host, Joelle Hamilton. In January, we reached out to over 4,000 recent mortgage consumers across Canada. We surveyed home buyers, renewers, and refinancers to find out how they feel about buying a home, securing a mortgage, and who they turn to for help. With me today is Sabrina Guay, a specialist with CMHC's Insurance Business Development Team. Welcome back, Sabrina.
Thank you, Joelle. It's great to join you again.
Yeah, I'm happy you're joining us again to walk us through kind of the key findings of the latest mortgage consumer survey. So let's dive right in. We know that the economic landscape has been turbulent lately. What does the survey tell us about how Canadians feel about home ownership specifically?
Yeah, so the survey tells us that recent mortgage consumers are feeling confident with their financial health and the recent transactions that they did on their mortgage, while fewer have told us that they expect their house value to increase in the next 12 months. 8 out of 10, so the strong majority, do feel that home ownership is a good long-term investment. And notably, home buyers have expressed less concerns and and less uncertainty during the home buying process. So I feel overall that is a good news story.
And are we seeing signs of improvement in financial stress compared to last year?
Yeah, so we are seeing some encouraging signs with regards to financial stress. The survey does show some clear easing away from that financial stress amongst recent mortgage consumers. So, of them, fewer have told us that they're having difficulties managing their monthly obligations, their mortgage payments, and so forth. Fewer were using one credit product to pay off another, and fewer also fewer were concerned about defaulting on their mortgage. So that said, there is still some financial pressure. If we look at renewers in particular, 35% of them do feel some increased strain this year, especially around the interest rates. Many of them are renewing at higher rates, which leads to higher mortgage payments for many of them.
So, Sabrina, how are Canadians researching mortgages today? Because I know research is a really important step. I remember back in the day when I was buying my first home, I turned to specific people and tools. But what I also like to know more specifically are or potential homeowners. Are they using any new tools or trends to do that research?
Yeah, that's a great question, Joelle, because research is very important before jumping into buying a home or getting a mortgage. Mortgage consumers are relying really heavily on digital tools. We asked a new question this year around AI, artificial intelligence, and we found that 1 in 10 mortgage consumers are using AI to search for information. We did see that there was a little bit less use of social media platforms this year for mortgage-related information. So across all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Reddit, had all dropped with regards to searching for mortgage information. We did see that websites, however, continue to be strong. 88% are going online to search interest rates, and 72% are using online calculators, maybe to calculate payments based on different interest rates or different amortizations. And we also saw that first-time home buyers are more likely to attend a home show, a home buying seminar, or even a showroom for like new condos and so forth, or a new showroom for a new construction. And that could be indicating that the first-time home buyers want a little bit more in person or are trying to really get as much information as they can.
What can you tell us about the home buying experience in 2026? And more specifically, I'd like to know if consumers felt more or less prepared.
So, in the survey, fewer home buyers told us that they felt uncertainty or concerns throughout the home buying process. And um, there was also a decrease in the proportion of homeowners that had unexpected expenses. And we use that as a little bit of a benchmark because you've done all this research. Is there something that comes up unexpected? And this year there was less. So it seems that people are doing the research, they're looking for information through different sources. And we even see that they're contacting about two or three lenders or mortgage brokers in order to gain some information as well before picking one and doing the transaction. So we do see some encouraging signs there with regards to getting prepared and going through with the transaction.
So, saving for a down payment in Canada is still one of the biggest hurdles to home ownership. How long does the survey say it takes for Canadians to save up for their down payment?
Yeah, saving for a down payment is a hurdle for home buyers. In the survey, home buyers told us it took on average 4.4 years to save up for their down payment, which is a slight increase over last year. However, it does bring us back to our 2024 and previous year averages. So something to look into. We also look at what comprises the down payment. So for a first-time home buyer, the largest source of funds is their own savings, whereas a repeat buyer will pull from the equity in their previous home. So the past may look a little bit different, but in general, those savings and the equity is what's driving and making that purchase possible.
What role do gifts and co-signers play in today's market?
That's a great question, Joelle, because we've been tracking gifts for a few years now and in the impact of financial gifts, inheritance have on down payments and helping people get into home ownership. We found that in this year's survey, 1 in 5 home buyers are receiving a gift for their down payment, and that's a little bit down from last year. Now, the average gift amount is also steady year over year. It's 30,000 is the median. We've switched from a median to a median this year from an average. We reported averages in the last couple of years, but we found that every now and then we'd get, some people would have a very large gift, some would have a very small gifts, and that would skew our average. By using a median, we found that in general, people would receive a median of $30,000 as their down payment. But what's really interesting with the gift story is the impact of the gift. Whereas maybe less people are receiving a gift this year, the impact is more substantial. 26% of those that received a gift would not have been able to purchase a home that meets their needs without the gift. And that's up from 19% last year. So that's interesting. Less are receiving a gift, but more are relying on that gift to make the purchase happen. And another part that we added this year, a new question, was around co-signers. And did you require a co-signer to purchase your home or to get your mortgage? And we found that 1 in 4 first-time home buyers actually had help from a co-signer to purchase their home. So we're looking at that whole picture, the gifts, how long it takes to save up for the down payment, where the down payment's coming from, and if there's some additional help with even purchasing the home or qualifying for the mortgage.
So we know that renovations continue to be a hot topic even this year. And what's really driving that push towards energy efficient upgrades?
Renovations are always top of mind for homeowners. If you've ever owned a home, you have a laundry list of things that you want to do to that home. Almost 2/3 of mortgage consumers are planning renovations over the next 5 years, and about a third of them are looking to do energy efficiency renovations. So whether it's new insulation, changing windows or doors or the roof, or converting an old heating system to something more efficient. These renovations, what we're hearing is that they're really paying off. 91% of those who do energy efficiency renovations are satisfied with their renovations. And even more so, 75% are actually seeing savings in their utility bills or their energy bills, I should say. And that's been consistent. That's not just this year. That's been consistent the 3 years that we've been doing this podcast. So that really speaks to what's driving these renovations. The comfort, the cost savings, and the value that they're getting is really what's driving these types of renovations.
And how are homeowners financing them?
Renovations do have real costs, right? About half are financing them through their savings. 63% are aware that they could potentially incorporate the renovation costs into their mortgage, either through a refinance or with a purchase with improvement. Actually, the top reasons for refinancing is to pay for renovations, and that's on par with paying off debt. So that's always interesting. And 76% of those that did energy efficiency renovations also looked for rebates or programs to help offset some of the costs. And that's where CMHC's eco programs can come into play because with CMHC Eco Plus or Eco Improvement, somebody who's buying a new construction home that's energy efficient or somebody that owns a home and is doing up to $20,000 of eligible renovations can receive, may be eligible for a 25% rebate on their CMHC premiums. And that's, could speak to a few $1,000s back in your pocket, which helps balance off the costs of these types of renovations.
So let's say homeowners are interested in learning more about CMHC's Eco Plus program. Who can they turn to for help?
I always recommend that mortgage consumers stay in contact with their mortgage professional, whether that's a lender, their bank, their credit union, a mortgage finance company, or a mortgage broker, because your financing needs may evolve over time. And those mortgage professionals are well versed and they know about different programs and rebates, and they can tailor specific products to meet specific individual needs. So I do recommend that mortgage consumers stay in contact with their mortgage professionals as their needs evolve in order and communicate and let them know.
So for listeners who may be hearing about the survey for the first time or have heard about it, but maybe forgotten what it is, can you give us a quick overview and description of what the survey is and why it matters?
Yes, certainly. So for anyone hearing about the Mortgage Consumer Survey for the first time, should know that it's one of the largest, most comprehensive surveys of its kind in Canada. Since 1999, CMHC has been an expert and trusted to deliver this research, gathering insights directly from Canadians about home ownership and their mortgage experiences. By including home buyers, refinancers, renewers. The Mortgage Consumer Survey gives the industry professionals a good understanding of what the needs and the expectations are that Canadians have when they're buying a home or arranging their mortgage. And with that, they're able to provide better advice, better service, better products, and an overall better experience for Canadians who are going through that mortgage process.
Thank you, Sabrina, so much for walking us through the key findings of the 2026 Mortgage Consumer Survey. I know it isn't easy because the survey presents a lot of percentages, proportions, and there's a lot more that we didn't actually discuss today, but is available in the full report, which is available on cmhc.ca. And I'd also like to thank our viewers for joining us in-house. See you next time. Did you know we're not just on YouTube? You can now find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Don't miss our next episodes for more real, data-driven discussions. If you're learning from and/or enjoying this podcast, please share this episode, follow us, or subscribe. Reach out. Let us know what you think. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.